Hi, I'm Academic Lead Developer at RackForms. In this video, we're going to talk about our Build 778. It's like a developer journal, if you will. Essentially what we're going to do is talk about the features that are new in this version and just give you a slight description, or a quick description of what they are and how you can use them. So within this build then, we have two major features. Both of these are tokens. We're not going to talk about the first one, it's pretty technical, but the second one is actually pretty neat. Basically, it is a token for grabbing specific repeated bucket items. So as a quick example, here is a bucket that has its repeating logic enabled right here. And when I publish this form here, you can see that I have several buckets already. Here, of course, we have no buckets. Let me add one, and let me just put in the name Steve. When I hit submit right here, you'll notice that I have the word Steve appearing. And if I go back one page and put in instead Bob, then we have Bob displaying. So the idea here is with bucket repeaters, we're never able to go in and actually just grab specific ones out. Well, now we can. The syntax is pretty simple, though it is a little bit more complex than most tokens. The basic idea is we actually have parameters now. So there's three of them. The first is the name of the bucket that we want. In this case, bucket 1 means that's what this guy is. It's bucket 1. The second is the index of the field that we want. It starts with 0, just like array syntax. So that doesn't mean this is item 0. It actually means that it's the first repeated item that's 0, right? So it starts with 0. This would be 1. This would be 2, etc. And then finally, the name of the form field that we want. In this case, name is in fact this form field item right here. So the name of the bucket, the position we want, and the name of the bucket item. And we do that, of course, and you can see that that's exactly what we pull out. What's nice about the BI token is that it can be used anywhere any of our other tokens can be. So we can use it as the subject of an email, in a database call, etc. The other big features that we have then are some really cool new features for working with code. So it used to be in RackForms that when we had a block of code, as we do right here in the label field, it's very common, creating templates. We didn't have a way of viewing this code in a convenient way. Now we do. We actually have the advanced editor. Then we click this, we get our beautiful syntax highlighted view of that code. What's even better though is we now have the submit code changes button right here. So the way that actually works is if I select this code right here and say advanced editor, now when I make a change to my code, let's say add a couple exclamation points, instead of actually having to click this button to save the changes, all I have to do is hit submit code changes. You can see that my extra exclamation points have been added, and in fact I can even now publish a form to see that change updated live too. What's of course really nice about this is one of the most common things advanced RackForms users do is build a template, add custom code to it, repeat, rinse, etc. And it used to be that closing this box, reopening it, always slowed us down. Now we don't have to worry about that anymore. We just make our changes, submit them, view the instant results. Very, very nice. We also then have a couple items for convenience, but in a slightly different way for more like code convenience. So this guy right here, this form fields only, is actually really handy. Essentially what it does here is it allows us to take a bit of code that has, like in this case, a PHP include, and then strip out everything except our raw form fields. So in this case, I'm using PHP include nav.php. In other words, I'm saying in this position of the page HTML, grab the page called nav.php and show it to me. Now the problem is that although this is an incredibly lightweight, fast way of doing this, it used to be that we didn't have a clean way of exporting this information from RackForms. So in this case, nav.php is actually this page right here, right? So here's nav.php. All I want to show is just this login page. Now that I have this page export mode of form fields only, that's literally all we're getting now. So if I run this page and look at its source code, you can see here that that's exactly what I'm doing. We have a wrapper div, of course, to keep our positioning right, but then all we're actually doing is just outputting the raw form fields. There's no head tags, form tags, etc. And of course, for a PHP include, that's exactly what we want. We don't want our pages bloated with a lot of extra stuff. We just want the core code. So that's exactly what that gives us. Finally, we have a couple convenience features. I should actually group these right here. So newly created form pages get the same width as existing pages. And we can now mark survey items as required. Both of these convenience features that allow us to create more dynamic forms. Finally, we have a slew of fixes. These are mainly to deal with ODBC database connections. Then we do have a few things relating to calendar fields validation, so on and so forth. So let us a quick look then at build 778. Of course, if you have any questions about this build or anything else, we can always be reached at info@rackforms.com. And of course, if you go to rackforms.com, you'll find our direct phone number at the top of the website. You can always call us as well. So thanks for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the look at build 778.